One thing that you've probably heard over and over about habit formation is not true. What I'm referring to is this idea that if you are very specific about exactly when you're going to perform a particular habit, that you are more likely to perform that habit. And while that is true in the short term, it is not true in the long term. And the reason for that is that our nervous system tends to generate particular kinds of behaviors based not on time, but on our state. Meaning what level of activation is taking place in our brain and body, how much focus we happen to have, how fatigued we are, how energized we are. So this is a key distinction. A lot of habit formation has to do with being in the right state of mind and being able to control your state of body and mind. Whatever it is, the habit that you're trying to learn, when you're doing that exercise, it's not as if your nervous system thinks you're actually performing the behavior. Your nervous system isn't stupid. It's actually a lot smarter than that. It knows the difference between a thought and an action. This is extremely useful, I believe, because it will allow you to assess whether or not you can indeed make room, if you even have room, I should say, for more habits. So here's the idea. You set out these 6 things that you would like to learn or that you would like to acquire in your life, these habits. You only expect that you're going to perform 4 or 5 each day. You do that for 21 days. Again, if you miss a day, you just hop right back on the next day. However, you should think about the functional units within this 21 day period as 2 days. You're going to try and nail 4 to 5 of these things for 2 days. If you happen to get all 6, great, but that's not necessarily required. So you can do it for 2 days, then reset 2 days, then reset 2 days. And then in the next 21 days, you're not trying to acquire any new habits. You're not going to throw in 6 more habits that you want to learn. You're simply going to assess how well, how deeply you've rewired your nervous system to be able to perform those 6 habits of the previous 21 days. And after 21 days, you stop engaging in this 21-day deliberate 4 to 5 things per day type schedule. And you simply go into autopilot. You ask yourself, how many of those particular habits that I was deliberately trying to learn in the previous 21 days are automatically incorporated into my schedule? How many of them am I naturally doing? In other words, every 21 days, you don't update and start adding new habits. You simply try and maintain the ones that you built in that first 21 days. It turns out that this approach to forming habits is based not so much on the specific habits that you're trying to form, but the habit of performing habits. Listen, you don't want to do anything or engage in a routine in any way that you can't keep up consistently for at least 5 and ideally 6 days per week. Every 4 or 5 years, you might have to update that, but you need to decide what you can do consistently, what you can do every day or at least 6 days a week or 5 days a week. And in doing so, it will make it far more likely that you'll be able to regularly engage in these habits and activities over a long period of time. If ever there was a tool that stood to rewire our attentional circuitry in a powerful way, this seems to be it. A simple practice taking 17 minutes can forever rewire your brain to be able to attend better and offset some of that attentional drift. Regardless of whether or not you're a child or you're an adult, whether or not you have ADHD or not, the effects are significant, they are long-lasting, and they appear to exist after just one session of this quiet 17-minute interoception. Our subjects were asked to just sit quietly, eyes closed, and do what is sort of akin to meditation, but to not direct their mind into any particular state or place, but simply to think about their breathing and to focus on their so-called interoception, focus on how their body feels, if their mind drifted, to bring it back for about 15 minutes. That might not seem like a significant or unusual practice or that it would have any impact at all, but remarkably, just doing that once for 17 minutes significantly reduced the number of attentional blinks that people would carry out. In other words, their focus got better in a near permanent way without any additional training. This simple meditation-like practice of 15 to 20 minutes or so of sitting and just quietly resting and paying attention to one's breathing and internal state can also offset some of that age-related, what is called cognitive decline. So what these data tell me is that regardless of whether or not you're a child or you're an adult, whether or not you have ADHD or not, whether or not you're experiencing age-related cognitive decline or you would simply like to avoid age-related cognitive decline, a simple practice of taking 17 minutes, sitting and paying attention to your internal state, just interocepting, registering your breathing, registering the contact of your skin with whatever surface you're on, can forever rewire your brain to be able to attend better and possibly even offset some of that age-related attentional drift. And in addition, the ability to engage in panoramic vision, to dilate our gaze, this so-called open monitoring that allows the brain to function in a way that it can detect more information faster, that's a powerful tool as well. And the beauty of that tool is that it works the first time and it works every time. Now, how exactly it works is a little bit unclear. Nonetheless, the effects are significant, they are long-lasting, and they appear to exist after just one session of this quiet 17-minute interoception, which to me makes it seem like a very worthwhile thing to do for everybody.